Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hey, what's up, friends? Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 195. I'm Phil Graham. I've got a great show for you guys today because I'm going to be sharing 3 mistakes most people make with their e-commerce advertising and websites that cause them to fail. Now, if you're making even one of these mistakes, there's a good chance you're going to fail, but most people are making all 3. So you want to make sure you're not only avoiding the mistakes, but doing the opposite and actually doing the right things to give yourself the best chance for success when it comes to e-commerce. So I think this is going to be a very important episode for you guys. Now, the reason I chose this topic is because yesterday I put out an Instagram story asking for feedback on what you guys most want to hear. And I got so many great responses. So thank you guys so much for all your responses. A lot of people talked about having challenges with e-commerce ads. So that's why I chose the topic today. But I also wanted to just mention that every single idea that came in yesterday from that story has been put into a Google Sheet. And over the next few months, I'm going to make sure I cover every single one as an episode. So I really thank you guys for letting me know what's important to you. And I don't really use the Instagram feed at all, but I definitely like stories, and I'm trying to be more active on stories. So I appreciate you, and let's just make sure we're connected on there as I'll continue to get your feedback on what you most want to hear. So with that being said, real quick, if you guys are wanting to connect, maybe you're looking for somebody to actually run your ads for you, or you want some one-on-one hands-on training through screen share on Zoom, which is 1,000,000 times better than a course, by the way, then you can follow me on Instagram. You can DM me at Phil Graham Digital to connect, or you can go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, and schedule a quick Zoom call. We can connect and see if it's the right fit. I love hearing from you guys. Also, if you ever have ideas for topics, again, that you want me to cover here on this podcast, you can always DM me on Instagram as well. So with that being said, my friends, I want to jump into this. I'm recording on Monday, February 1st, 2021. Happy February. Hope you're having a phenomenal week. And let's talk about the 3 mistakes most people are making when it comes to e-commerce. Now, these actual mistakes I'm going to be talking about today are actually focused on what happens after the ad. Because you can have perfect ads, but if you're making these 3 mistakes on your actual e-commerce website, then even a perfect ad is not going to help you, and you're probably going to fail. So let's talk about it. Mistake number 1, and this is a big one. Mistake number 1 is you're only focused on selling your products, and that is your main focus. So for example, whatever you sell, maybe it's t-shirts or apparel or anything, whatever it is, if when I go to your website, if that's pretty much all I see and there's nothing beyond that, then there's a good chance you're going to fail. And let me tell you what I mean. It's more than just about your products, because people can buy just about anything from many different sources, including Amazon. So whatever you sell, they don't just buy from you because of what you sell. They buy from you because of who you are and what your brand is about. And that is a huge mistake that people just don't get. They don't realize that. For instance, I was consulting for an apparel company. And sure enough, when I went to their site, it was a Shopify store. It was just a bunch of listings for apparel, shirts and hats and stuff like that they were selling. Now, the stuff was cool, but you could get that stuff anywhere from anybody. There was no differentiation whatsoever, and there was no reason to buy from them. That was a huge error, because when you get down to that point where you're just a product-based site, then it's just the quickest race to the bottom. People can find stuff anywhere from anybody, and they're always just going to look for a lower price or quicker shipping or whatever the case may be. So you need to focus not just on selling your own products. It's more than just your products. It's about what your vision is. As a company, even if you're just a one-person shop, or if you have a team, either one, what do you stand for? How do you differentiate? That's what's important. So back to my example with the client that I consult with, what we did was we figured out the types of people that their clothing attracted and who their ideal customer was. And we created, a brand message around that type of person. It wasn't just about the clothing. It was about not being the same as everybody else. It was about being different, about not fitting in. And so we started talking about that messaging throughout the site, including, as the first thing they saw when they hit the site, so that they knew that it was more than just buying shirts that were different. This was about being different, and a store that got that and that understood how people felt. That changed everything. And that makes such a huge difference. So make sure that you have a story about who you are, whether as a person or as a company, as a brand, why you do what you do, what you stand for, what you stand against. How are you different than everybody else? And more importantly, why should they buy from you versus anybody else? If you're focused on those things, besides just, oh, here's what we sell and here's the price and here's a discount, if you're focused on those key things, you are going to be so far ahead of everyone else. It's ridiculous. And there's a lot that goes to this. I can't cover all the ins and outs of it in a short podcast episode, but make sure that you are not solely focused on just selling your products. You've got to give people more of a reason on why they should buy from you, from your store, from your shop. And that is very, very important. So that is number one. Let's talk about mistake number two. And that is not collecting emails. Or maybe you are collecting emails, but you're doing it in a way where you don't get very many. That's pretty common. So just about every successful e-commerce shop does a good job of collecting emails. I was consulting with an e-commerce company once where they literally started with 0 emails. And over the course of about 1 year, that got built up to over 300,000 people on their email list, from 0 to 300,000 email subscribers. That's crazy. I mean, that was amazing growth. And their sales originally from email was 0. And by the end of that year, it was about 35% of their sales were starting to come in from email. That's a big number, you guys. I mean, that was pretty significant. So there's a number of different ways you can get emails. One mistake that a lot of shops make is they just say, hey, sign up for our newsletter. Nobody wants a newsletter. Like, that's not the terminology you want to use. What do they actually want? They might want a discount. They might want to be in the know. They might want a sneak peek for new things that are coming ahead. They might want, a sneak peek of what's going on behind the scenes. There's a lot of things they're going to want, but just saying, hey, sign up for a newsletter, that's not one of them. So depending on what you sell and what your situation is, there's lots of different things you can give in exchange for an email. The easiest and best thing, if you don't mind doing discounts, is to give a discount. Now, I've got some clients where we don't give discounts. We're at the high end of pricing. We like it that way, and we would never even consider that. So if you're in that boat, then use one of those other ideas I threw out there just a minute ago. But if you don't mind giving discounts, that can be a great way to get emails. My favorite way to do it, and this is how we did it with that client that went from 0 to 300,000 emails, by the way, is with an app called Wheelio, Wheelio. Now, I'm not associated with them. I don't get any affiliate income from them, so it's nothing like that. I've just used their services, and it's really cool. So when you use Wheelio, people that visit your site can spin the wheel and then win a discount. And you can have different discount levels on there. And we've used that effectively with a number of different clients, and it works really, really well. So that's one great way that you can accelerate your email. Again, you don't have to give discounts. You can give other things instead, and you can use Wheelio too to give other things as well. But regardless of how you do it, you want to make sure that you have a strategy to collect emails and that it's working. Are you getting a lot of emails on a regular basis? If not, you want to change up either how you're doing it or what you're offering in exchange for an email, because most successful stores are getting lots of emails consistently. So don't make that mistake of not doing that. And then last, but certainly not least, mistake number 3. This is a big one. This is huge. There's not enough trust or credibility elements on your website or shop. This one, I would say 99% of the stores I look at make this mistake. 99% also make the first one where, they only focus on selling products. Those are the two most common ones, and also the two worst mistakes to make out of these 3. So not having enough trust or credibility on your website. So here's the deal. You are not Amazon. Unfortunately, none of us are Amazon, right? And people don't automatically trust you when they visit your website. They just don't. You have to work hard for that trust and credibility. And it just blows my mind that some people just don't put anything on there that helps establish trust. So when somebody first visits your shop or your site, imagine it's a complete stranger. They don't know who you are. They've never been there. What are the thoughts that might run through their head? They might think, okay, is this company legit? Where are they located? Are they local? Are they in the US or UK or wherever you are? Where are they located? I wonder how fast they ship. Is it going to take a month to get it or a couple days? What else are they thinking? What if there's a problem with my order? What if they just take my money and they never ship me anything? Are they legitimate? Do they care? They're thinking all these things. And again, people act like they're Amazon, like they don't have to really address those types of things. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you have a lot of credibility and trust elements on your website. You want to have testimonials, obviously. I also recommend having like a customer service commitment. What is your commitment to service? If something goes wrong, if they don't get their order, or if it's the wrong size, whatever the case may be, how do you make it right? And how do they fix it? Are you easy to get a hold of? Make sure that you have that commitment on your site. Also, what is your shipping info? Are things in stock? How quick do you ship it? How long does it take to get there? These are all important things to have. And not only is it important to have all these things on there, but having those things where? At the call to action, where they actually put things into their cart and in the shopping cart as well, like on the shopping cart checkout page. Those are the right places to put those types of things. What some people do is they might like put some of that info on some terms and conditions page or shipping page that people may or may not ever even visit. If you look at the best e-commerce company in the world, Amazon, what will you see near the add to cart button? You're going to see if it's in stock and how long it's going to take to get to you. And that's from Amazon, who really doesn't need to build up any trust or anything like that. They're already the king and queen of e-commerce. So if they're doing it, then obviously you need to do it as well. We all do. So make sure that these trust and credibility elements that you add to your website are not just in a page for shipping or anything like that, but they're at the call to action of where somebody takes an action to actually buy something or put something in their cart. If you make sure you do this, it will be a game changer for you. I promise you, it'll help you so much. Most stores and shops don't do this at all. So it'll give you a huge advantage. So those are the 3 mistakes to avoid and the 3 things to do instead. I hope that was helpful. You guys make sure you're doing these things. Make sure you're not making those mistakes, because if you get this right, it could be an absolute game changer for your business. I hope today's episode was helpful, you guys. Again, if you want to connect, philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next time. Thanks, everybody. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.